This is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, the 28th of May, 2015. Also for Friday, the 29th. We don't usually do a market preview on Thursday going into Friday. As the week's wrapping up and Fridays tend to be a little slow, this one should be no different, as this Friday is also end of the month of May. Sunday is May 31st, so Monday when we come back, we will be in June and almost go halfway through the year. Unbelievable. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. After finally rolling over on that failed breakout on Tuesday, we recovered it exactly on Wednesday. I'll show you the intraday action in a moment. But basically, it was a complete disappointment. We had some nice setups on the short side after that move down on Tuesday, and everything went up instead, so nothing clean from that perspective. Here's a look at the, let's see, the S&P cash gained 19 points. Actually giving it a new closing high after all that, if you believe that. Sorry, that's the NDX there. 73 points on the NDX. That's a new closing high on the NDX. The S&P gained 19. It was not a new closing high. My bad. SOX index led the way. Big breakout there on the SOX, up 27 points. That's a big move out of the blue there. Biotech's also setting up. This is a nice looking chart at this point. It'd be interesting to see if this can actually break out instead of letting the market roll over. Google recovered 7. That's what it was down the other day. Apple recovered 2.5, almost what it was down the other day. The VIX dropped back 0.79 after gapping up the other day. Crude oil dropped a bit. 58.03 was the close on crude, and here's gold up a couple pennies. No big deal. Here's the trend. Got a low reading today of 0.82 at the close. The 10-day moving average rolled over just a bit because of it, but it's nowhere near a danger zone for us. NASDAQ volume was just over 1.6 billion shares. Sad to say, but probably the best volume day in about 10 days. So nothing exciting there. Let's look at the action from an intraday perspective just so you can see what we did. So on Tuesday after the holiday, we had gapped down, pushed lower. It was a strong day from that perspective, set up a lot of nice shorts. Came back up a bit to close the VWAP on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we opened flat, paused for about 5 minutes, and then turned up. And as you can see, basically just ran the whole day. Ran strong early, flattened out a bit over lunch, reached up and filled the gap exactly from last Friday's close, and then rolled over. So is it just a gap fill? We had to fill the gap. If you're going to head lower, you should fill all gaps above as you go, and that's what we did here. Is that the beginning of the move is a big down day to give us the warning shot and then come back up to technically fill the gap. Hard to say. I won't know until we get another couple days into it. And the NDX obviously closed here a little bit higher, about 10 points up, 15 points up from where it closed on Friday. So after the drop on Tuesday, we're actually up for the week here. It's pretty interesting, but it was a little bit annoying. Not what we were looking for at all. All right, so what do we have here for the rest of the week before we head into the weekend again after this short week here? On Thursday, we have initial and continuing jobless claims. That's the weekly numbers an hour before the bell. 30 minutes in, pending home sales. That's not a big number. An hour in, natty gas. That's the weekly natural gas inventories data. An hour and a half in, crude oil inventories, usually on Wednesday, always on Thursday if you have a Monday holiday. So they put it in half an hour after the natural gas so that they don't come out at the same time. And then Friday, we have the second look at GDP for the first quarter, and then 15 minutes into the market, the Chicago PMI, and 15 minutes after that, the final look at Michigan sentiment for May. Will any of that be enough to move the market, enough on Friday to get something going before everybody heads out for the weekend and let those statements print? Hard to say. Obviously, the last day of the month is usually pretty flat, even more so when it's a Friday. So we will be around all day Thursday and the first 90 minutes on Friday to see what we can see. If that's all we get, we'll take off from there. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you haven't taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We can't help you out for a couple weeks. And if you do like these videos and find them useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out. Have a good night.